Yo, it's about to go down. I said, yo, it's about to go down.
Try to get 50 people in here, guys. I mean, there's more than 700,000 people that undergo kidney failure that's on dialysis, right? More than 700,000. And it's only 9 people on this broadcast. I'm sorry it's not drama. This is about saving lives, managing your fluid intake, especially if you find yourself in this situation. There's more than 700,000 people undergoing some form of kidney dialysis treatment. So if you can, share this broadcast. Let's try to make it go viral. Let's try to get 50 people in here. Let's make it a record tonight. We haven't had no more than 50 people in a broadcast. And I'm ashamed of myself because I feel like I'm not doing my job in getting more people into the broadcast to hear the information. So please, guys, help me out. Get 50 people. Let's make this what's the word I want to use? Let's just make this a record break. Yeah, let's make this a record tonight. 50 people in this broadcast to hear this information about cool tips for fluid, right? Uh, and fluids, what you need to know. Let's start from the basics. Show you how important this is. Let's ask the question, what happens when you drink too much fluid? For normal people for healthy people and people with kidney failure. So when drinking fluid, for example, let's take water. It spreads throughout the body. When the body has met its needs on that fluid intake, healthy kidneys urinate the extra out. So when you drink a lot of fluid, whether it's tea, half and half, beer, wine, water, any fluid that you drink, it gets to the point where the body has met its needs. And now you have to excrete, right? You have to excrete, pee, urinate, whatever you want to call it, that extra fluid out of your body to get it back into balance. Now, when kidneys don't work well, there's a problem. There's a serious problem when your kidneys don't work well because the body cannot urinate the extra fluid. Share this broadcast, guys. I'm telling you, I know there's many people who just recently started dialysis. Come on now. Good evening, Mrs. Betty. How you doing? Thanks for joining the broadcast. If you can, please share this with your family. Don, thank you for joining the broadcast. Always on deck. Thank you for being a contributing consultant to Urban Health Outreach Media. And thank you for being a home dialysis advocate. If anyone is thinking about home dialysis, if you're thinking about it, Don P. Mormon Edwards is the one you need to talk to get the correct information that you need to know to have a safe treatment at home. Don P. Mormon Edwards. Thanks, Don, for tuning in. So, guys, what if your kidneys don't work or if you have heart failure, right? A lot of people on Lasix, diuretics, fluid pill, whatever you want to call it, to try to excrete this extra fluid out of your system because of the symptoms, right, that it may cause. Lower edema, fluid overload, respiratory distress, whatever you want to say, can't sleep at night. So let's look at this example. Your body is like a balloon filling up with water, right? Similar to a balloon, slowly filling up with water. The fluid you drink fills your body. As water is added to a balloon, it stretches and stretches and stretches. Now that happens to one. I'm sure warriors who's watching this, some may have experienced this, some may have not. When you first started dialysis or you first realized you had issues with your kidneys and you was experiencing edema, fluid in your lower limbs, like your ankles were puffy, your hands maybe looked like baseball mitts, maybe you couldn't breathe, your face was puffy. This fluid can put pressure on your organs. You may have felt tight when you had a lot of fluid on. So, because look, check this out. In your body, right? In your body, too much fluid puts pressure on all your organs. As many warriors who learned their lesson and now has turned it around to manage their fluid intake. There are many warriors who have learned their lesson and that are now, right? They are now adhering to the 32 ounce per day, and they feel awesome. And especially if you're doing home dialysis, you kind of could be a little bit liberal with your fluid intake. because look, if you're on dialysis 5-6 hours or peritoneal 7-8-9 hours compared to 3 hours 3 times a week, and you're doing this 5 to 6 hours a night, you really have fluid management and fluid control. So when fluid puts pressure on all your organs, right, including the heart, it doesn't spare the heart. That's when you start talking about endocarditis, fluid around the lining of the heart. A lot of people get admitted for that. But when this happens, God knows, when you got too much fluid in your system, your heart works harder. It's beating harder. Tachycardia, more than 100 beats per minute sometimes. Too much stress on the heart can cause the heart to stop working. Ask warriors who've known warriors who passed away from this. Please, we need 50 people. We haven't broke over 20. That's a doggone shame. We got to break over at least 20 people to get this information. Whether it may be boring or not, this may save your life, right? When you don't have, if you're on dialysis, got a loved one on dialysis, right? And it's 10 o'clock at night, 11, like right now, and something's going on, right? You remember that movie Ghostbusters? Who you going to call? Because it's not going to be the nephrologist, right? It's going to be the answering service, and he's going to determine if he want to call you back or not. The dialysis clinics are closed. The emergency rooms are overcrowded. So what if you have a situation that's caused by fluid overload and you mistakenly think it's the coronavirus? Now you're in the emergency room. Something has to do with fluid overload, nothing to do with coronavirus, and you may end up catching the coronavirus. So look, share this broadcast. We have plenty more, right? Plenty more educational broadcasts, free of charge. Free of charge. I never seen in my 33 years, right, anything like this. And what I mean anything like this, yes, there are YouTube videos of other people posting what you can do for this, for your kidney disease, what you can do for that, right? But these individuals are mostly patients, who dealt with kidney disease and using their own experience. This right here that you're getting myself, which is 33 years experience. You're getting my partner, Tamika Gainus, over 20 years experience. You're getting Don P. Mormon, 29 years experience, transplant recipient, but now back on dialysis, 29 years battling this disease, plus education wizard and knowing what's going on in the kidney world. You got Lisa Baxter, 12 years fighting this battle, 2 years kidney transplant warrior, family members, siblings dealing with this disease, right? And our hearts and prayers and thoughts go out to Lisa Baxter with the loss of her sister. And you have Jared A. Brown, kidney advocate, half dual of the Brown Brothers graphic artist team with his brother, Jeffrey Brown, all the way in UAE, United Arab Emirates, who help kidney patients look for live donors through graphic animation. There's nothing else on Facebook or YouTube or social media that's comprised of a team like this to help kidney warriors. But again, we need people to participate and come and get the message. We're going to continue to be here. We're going to keep doing what we do because we feel the Spirit led us to do what we do. And it's all for free. All for free. There's no going to a website, logging on, registering for a webinar, or doing this or jumping through hoops. We put the information when we're going to be out there, and it's up to you to take that information, whether it applies to you or not. If it doesn't apply to you, just throw it away. If it applies, come in and see what information you can use for your mom, your dad, yourself, your brother, your sister, your cousin, your uncle. Because God didn't put me in this field to do this 33 years, travel across the United States, work in multiple dialysis facilities, meeting multiple people that I work with throughout the United States, especially down in Houston, Texas. Deborah, I forgot your last name. But Debbie down in Texas, outside of Rosenberg, Texas. Oh, Deborah Fierro. Yeah. But I work with some tremendous nurses and technicians across the United States, right? But again, we put the information out there. It's just up to you to get it and use it. So let's move on. So again, if you drink a lot of fluid and you got kidney problems, you could be putting a lot of pressure on your organs and not even realize it. You may be thinking it's something else and not knowing that it's the fluid putting the pressure on your organs. So now we have dialysis. Because what if we didn't have dialysis and this was happening? A lot of people would drown in their fluid. So what dialysis does for people who are watching that could be watching for the first time or don't know what dialysis is or what it does, it removes extra fluid, right, and waste from the body. Dialysis can only remove so much fluid during the treatment. I mean, you can't move 4 or 5. You can, but you don't want to remove 4, 5, 6 liters over 3 hours, 4 hours. I've seen patients do it, but you're putting a tremendous stress on your heart. Plus, you set yourself up for cramps and your blood pressure bottoming. Dialysis can only remove so much fluid during the treatment. How many warriors tried to remove a certain amount of fluid and wasn't able to? After treatment, you wanted to remove 5 liters and you only removed 3, or you left more than what you came in with. How many fluids? Give me a thumbs up if you're watching this and you went to dialysis and you left more than what you came in because somebody messed up, didn't set you right, didn't monitor you, or you didn't leave at your dry weight. It happens all the time because some people have to go back for extra treatment. So when dialysis can't remove the fluid that's needed, that extra fluid stays in your body, and then the fluid that you drink between treatments is added on, then it all adds up. To keep this from happening, it is helpful to avoid drinking too much fluid. So the recommended daily allowance for patients on dialysis is 32 ounce a day or less. That way you won't be fluid overload and you can remove the fluid without having problems. But if you're over 32 ounce a day, before dialysis, you can't sleep. You may have to lay down with 3 pillows, because if you try to lay flat, you feel like you're going to smother to death, or you're short of breath. You may need some oxygen. You may need to sit up in a recliner. I'm telling you, I know a lot of patients who had to go to the emergency room because they was fluid overload. This ain't no joke. And now, especially with people being sheltered in, and they may eat stuff that's high in sodium, you drink the water. I mean, you're still able to go to dialysis because that's essential. But you just don't want to put yourself drinking more fluid than what you have been doing, because now you find yourself sheltered in and not able to get out and move around and do what you normally was doing. This could be extra fluid brought on by stress of what's happening. So just be mindful, guys. Just be mindful. And we're here to do the broadcast. We just need you to be here and share our broadcast. And again, let's get more than 9 people on this broadcast. My God, man, we got to make this go viral. You got people talking about, they don't talk enough about kidney disease awareness. Man, I try to do all I can to raise eyebrows or get attention, and it hasn't hit the ceiling yet. I can't even get 50 people on my broadcast. Now, it's a gentleman, God bless his heart, Larry, the celebrity cab driver, right? He's a cab driver. He does breaking news, meaning he goes around Baltimore City, right, and try to be the first on the scene and broadcast from there on his live, right? Drama. He was down at the news conference today with the mayor, right? The police chief of Baltimore and other city officials, which the main news stations were down there as well. But he was down there. 1.2 thousand views, right? About 60, 70 to 80 people on his feed. Looking at what? Only information from Baltimore. Person could have been in California, Chicago, anywhere across the United States. Looking at stuff that you can see on the news, but they on this feed. 60, 70, 80 people. Not giving, again, not knocking his hustle and what he does, because he's educating and entertaining and whatever he does with that. But my God, I'm trying to save lives, people who get hit with kidney disease and don't have no information because the units or the hospital are thinking about other stuff, and no one's there to give them the information that should be given. And we got 11 people with 700,000 people dealing with this disease. That just boggles my mind. It boggles my mind that I can't get more than 25 people on a broadcast to save lives, but someone can get 60 and 80 on some drama tip. It just boggles my mind. So let's move on. So look, the key, right? The key to this in managing your fluid, if you deal with dialysis or your loved one deal with dialysis, the key is 32 ounces of fluid a day is the key. 32. Get that number. 32 ounces. Most people, right? Most people feel best when drinking about 32 ounces per day. It may not sound like a lot, but a lot of warriors have managed to do this. Be mindful and be smart about this. This includes, the 32 ounces includes every drink, right, and food that is liquid at room temperature. I repeat, that 32 ounces includes food and liquid, which includes drink, that is liquid at room temperature. Popsicle, coffee, soda, half and half, watermelon, greens. But there's a secret, right? There is a big secret to feeling less thirsty, right? There's a big secret. You want to know that secret? I'll tell you right after this.
Yo, it's about to go down. I said, yo, it's about to go down.
What's going on? What's going on? I'm back with that big secret. What is the big feeling less thirsty? Can anybody out there tell me before I say it? Come on, let me get some participation. Hey, Miss Monica, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Miss Kathy, God bless you tuning in. But can anybody tell me what's that big secret to feeling less thirsty? I'm waiting. All right. The secret is eat less sodium or salt. Eat less salt. That's it. Sodium is the main ingredient in salt. Yes, it is. Sodium is the main ingredient in salt. When we eat salty foods, it gets into the blood and pulls fluid out of the places that need it. The body asks the brain to give it more water. The brain then tells us to drink more because we feel thirsty. But in all actuality, it's when you eat foods high in sodium, wherever salt goes, water follows. And if you look at chemistry, the molecule, H2O molecule, right, and the sodium molecule, they bond together. So wherever salt goes, water is going to follow. So if you eat stuff high in salt, like Chinese food or carry out French fries, cheese, whatever it may be, you're going to drink fluid. So look, let's look at low sodium foods. And basically, you want to start by looking at the nutrition facts on food labels. And I did that the other day when I was in Dollar Store or Dollar General. Usually anything that has a sodium number that is less than the calorie number is lower in sodium. So if the calories is 400 and the sodium is 2000, that means it's high in sodium, right? Again, if the calories is 400, the sodium may be 2000 milligrams, that's high in sodium. However, the calories is 400 and the sodium is 200, then that's lower in sodium. Again, you look on the nutrition facts of the can and look at the sodium. The lower the sodium, the better. Now let's look at some salty foods. Some foods to avoid include canned foods, fast food like French fries, which I mentioned, cheeseburgers, frozen dinners, ready-to-eat soups like oodles and noodles, or canned or dried, soy sauce, pickled and smoked food like beef jerky, pickles, which you have the those Oscar Mayer in that packet, soy sauce soup, again, chili. Healthy foods that you want to look at that are low in sodium include fresh meat, chicken, fish, eggs, bread, pasta, and low potassium fresh vegetables. But you got to watch out for the saturated fat in those meats, right? The animal products, you got to watch out for the saturated fat. So it's a twofold. And you got to watch out for adding too much salt when you season it. Talk to your dietitian at your unit if you want to know more information about that or what to use. You can use Mrs. Dash. There's other seasoned salt herbs that you can use instead of salt to spice up your foods. All right. So give you the basics of what happens when you have a lot of fluid in your body, how it presses on the organs, how it causes respiratory distress, edema. So now let's talk about some tips for fluid, right? So fluid control. Now, why fluid control is important? By managing fluid and sodium intake, these symptoms can be prevented. I'm serious. High blood pressure between treatments. How many people have a lot of fluid on when you go back to treatment, your blood pressure sky high? Low blood pressure during treatment because we're trying to pull the fluid off, and we may bottom your treatment. We may bottom your pressure. But how about this? What if you have a lot of fluid on? I've seen this with a lot of warriors. You come in with a lot of fluid and you taking your blood pressure medicine. Now it's a double whammy because we're trying to pull off fluid as much as we can. Now that's going to bring your pressure down. And by you taking your blood pressure medicine, that's going to bring your pressure down. So it's a double smack, double whammy. You can pass out, bottom out. So be careful when taking your blood pressure medicine coming to dialysis, especially if you know you have a lot of fluid on. Cramping during treatment is a big thing. Cramping during treatment is a biggie. Shortness of breath. That can be, many warriors experience shortness of breath and needed to get to dialysis. Swelling. What about orbital swelling? Orbital edema in your ankles. Pitting edema. Damage to the heart. You can damage your heart. Again, endocarditis with too much fluid, and they can get around the heart lining. What to know about fluid? Most people feel best, as I mentioned before, when drinking 32 ounces of fluid or less per day. Aim to gain no more than 1 kilo per day or 2.2 pounds. I've seen people try to pull off 5, 6, 7 liters in one treatment, 3.5 hours, 4 hours. We couldn't do it. We had to bring them back for an extra treatment back to back. How many warriors have had back to back treatments? I just had a buddy of mine, his dad, they wanted him to come back, and he took him back to back treatments. It's not free neither. They charge Medicare or your private insurance if you had that. Yeah, it's not, oh, we didn't get enough fluid off. You can come back tomorrow for free and get the rest off. No. When those machines run and your blood hit that kidney, that's a charge. It's an extra treatment. Know what counts as fluid. We talked about this. Any drink or food that is liquid at room temperature, such as gelatin and homemade soup, is considered fluid. 1 cup of ice melts to about 4 ounces of fluid, right? Also, sugar, caffeine, and salt may increase thirst. I repeat, sugar, caffeine. How many warriors drink coffee before going to dialysis in the morning? Stop by McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, or whatever place, the hospital cafeteria, 7-Eleven, and pick up a cup of Joe. Or what about Dunkin' Donuts? Again, sugar, caffeine, and salt may increase your thirst if you didn't know that. Tips to track fluid intake. Now, again, guys, share this broadcast. You see, I have we need 50 people share this broadcast. My Lord, we can't get over 25 people with 70,000 people. I'm sorry, with more than 700,000 people dealing with this disease. So let's look at some tips to track fluid intake. Measure fluids using a liquid measuring cup. We talked about that in the broadcast with having emergency equipment, having measuring spoons and measuring cups. Here is where the measuring cups can come into play. Find out how many ounces are in each cup, mug, and glass used at home. You can measure it. Pour that stuff in the measuring cup. Measure it out. Keep track of fluid intake by writing it down. Read beverage labels to find out how many ounces are in each container. Remember that all fluid counts. I mean, all fluids. This includes fluid you drink during dialysis, fluid used to take medication, and fluids that you use to eat your dinner or your lunch or your breakfast. Tips. Now, these are some tips. You may have your own, right? You may have your own tips to manage your thirst, but these are just some tips I'm going to put out there that the big boys say to do or recommend, that this information is not getting to kidney warriors. No one's thinking about doing any education about managing your thirst during this coronavirus. Technicians and nurses want to stay safe. They ain't got time to sit down at your chair now and talk to you behind a mask, some goggles, and a clear plastic shield and gloves and PPE on, talking to you about managing your thirst. That's the least of their concern right now. So that's why these broadcasts are very important to share, so other warriors and family members who don't know can see us teach it right here. It's the same information from the big boys. We just happen to have it. We were able to collect it throughout our years working in the industry. No other healthcare person is out there, it could be, but they're not out there day in and day out like we are trying to give you the information. So here goes some tips to manage your thirst. 1, rinse your mouth out frequently. Rinse it out. Brush your teeth to keep your mouth minty fresh. I repeat, brush your teeth to keep your mouth minty fresh. Use a mist bottle to spray your mouth. Chew gum. Suck on hard candies or lemon or lime wedges. Try eating frozen fruit instead of ice or water. Use lip balm to prevent dry lips. If you have diabetes, manage your sugar. Also, one thing I want to suggest, say if you like iced tea or whatever your favorite drink is that you can have, think about pouring it in an ice tray, freeze it, and then suck on that, right? Take 1 or 2 cubes out and let it soften up and suck on it. Yes. Popsicles. Absolutely. What to know about sodium? Let me tell you something about sodium, right? Pay attention. Let me tell you something about sodium. I wish we could get 50 people in here. God bless the 13 that's in here. They say 13 is an unlucky number, but I beg the difference. What you want to know about sodium? Well, let me tell you. Sodium is a mineral. It's a mineral, guys, that can cause increased thirst. A mineral that can cause increased thirst, fluid retention, and high blood pressure. That's a triple whammy. Triple whammy. Increased thirst, fluid retention, and high blood pressure. The recommended amount of sodium is 2,000 milligrams a day. But I suggest taking it lower to either 1,500 or 1,000 milligrams per day. 1 teaspoon, just 1 teaspoon of salt has 2,300 milligrams of sodium, which is more than the recommended daily allowance. So you see how important this is? It's very important to be mindful and educated on your disease and what's going on and how to manage it. Because you don't want to fall into having fluid retention, going to the hospital and respiratory distress or fluid overload. Fresh food is best for low sodium, fresh food. Limit salt when cooking. Don't overdo it. Try flavoring your food with salt-free seasoning blends or herbs. Try something different. Doesn't always have to be table salt. Find low sodium recipes online. Again, find low sodium recipes online for kidney patients. So high sodium foods to limit as we wind this down. High sodium foods to limit. Sodium is hidden in many foods, guys, many foods. Even if it is not added during cooking, you still got salt in there. Did you see me at the Family Dollar and pointing out those cans of high sodium food, the bacon, the ham in the can, the chicken bologna in the can, and beef in the can, and gravy and chipped beef in it. Oh my God, it was so much high sodium foods that can cause you to go in fluid overload. You may not even think about it. Even peanut butter crackers. So here's a tip. Check the milligrams, mg of sodium on the nutrition facts label, right? And if you don't know how that looks like, the nutrition facts label, let me show you an example. All right. That's how it looks like. The nutrition facts label. You see where it has calories, right? See where it says sodium? On the left, it has 2,400 calories. And on the right, it has sodium 200 milligrams, right? And 400 calories. So this is the one you want to enjoy. So that's how you point that out on the nutrition facts label. Processed foods, including canned food and processed meat, such as bacon and sausage. You want to limit that, especially if you're a bacon and sausage person, even turkey sausage or even turkey bacon. It still has sodium in it. Deli meat, sodium in it. Pizza, pepperoni, beef jerky, all that high in sodium. Tips: choose fresh or frozen foods instead of canned. Again, choose fresh or frozen foods instead of canned to help prevent fluid overload. Because again, if you got foods high in salt, it's going to make you want to drink. And if you're on dialysis, that's not what you want to do. Look, packaged foods such as chips, pretzels, and salted nuts. Choose low sodium, salt-free, or unsalted versions when available. So if you're going to eat some chips, pretzels, or salted nuts, just eat the low sodium, salt-free, or unsalted versions of those packaged foods when available. Let me see what comments I have before we leave this show. Let's see. Vanessa Holman. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Vanessa. I appreciate that. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. God bless you. Thank you for coming on and watching the show. Yeah, I got to do the PDF. I might have to tomorrow scan this and send it to my partner so she can make a PDF, because I have no idea how to do it. So my partner, she's going to run me through that, and we could definitely have a PDF one constructed for you with the Urban Health Outreach logo on it. Hey, Angie, how you doing? Thank you for tuning in. Again, thanks for my partner for putting this up to lower your tips. Tamika Gaines, please, guys, reach out to her as well. We got other stuff to help you out through this crisis. Skin products as well. If you can't get out and get any lotion because the drugstore might be closed or anything, we definitely have shea butter cream to help alleviate ashy skin or dry skin. So again, guys, we need, well, the show's just about over, but it would have been great to have up to 50 people. I appreciate the tune in. Let's make this go viral afterwards. The good thing about this, Tamika, is that we're broadcasting simultaneously. We're also broadcasting at YouTube as well as uh, Urban Health Outreach Media. So, guys, share with your family, your friends. Let's raise awareness for kidney disease. Let's not, let this coronavirus get us to a point where we neglect uh, other parts of our health that we need to manage, like the fluid intake, the salt intake, the potassium intake. We definitely still need to be mindful of those other things. You need to wash your hands. You need to be on the lookout for other viruses such as MRSA, VRE, the hepatitis B virus. It's so much. So just be prepared, be mindful, and just stay up on your education about your conditions so you could be the best person that you can be in spite of this disease. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this broadcast, because I know you could be doing anything else other than watching Steve Belcher at 9 o'clock talking about fluid gain and tips in controlling fluid. So I'm very humble that the 13, 14, or whatever many people came on and watched this broadcast. I'm humbled that you took the time out to view it, to watch it. Please, now we just need you to share it. Let's make this go viral. And guys, we're always going to be here for you. Again, reach out to myself, my partner, Tamika Gaines. She's mostly on Instagram, but she's always lurking in the background. If you need to talk to her, she's there. Jared A. Brown, Don P. Mormon Edwards, and Lisa Baxter. Thank you guys for tuning in. God bless you. Let me see. I got one more comment. Oh, Miss Betty, thank you. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to be here each time and whenever I could come on to continue to get this information. But not just me, but my partner, Tamika Gaines, Jared A. Brown, Don P. Edwards, and Lisa Baxter. We're here to keep educating, getting the information out there, at the same time trying to entertain you, give you something different. That's what Lisa Baxter's for. She's witty, she's resourcefulness. She takes you away from what's going on with her skits, her monologue. We have Jared A. Brown, who is feverishly helping kidney warriors look for live donors. Him and his brother Jeffrey A. Brown, the Brown Brothers production team. Again, just amazing people just trying to help. And Angie put up there, God bless you, because I know you're an advocate. I want to bring you on the show. So reach out to me through DM. Let's find a date that's convenient for you, so you can come on and you can share your platform as well on our platform and what you're doing, where you're at, and to spread this thing like wildflower. Angela, I am using this show as a degree. That's how much you learn. Yeah. So, but we want to bring you on the show as well. If you want to come on and share what you're doing, where you're at, the offer is open anytime, any day, right here, either on kidney disease or urban renal talk with Tamika and Steve, or if you want to talk to Tamika or Lisa Baxter show or Warriors Quest, whatever, the platform is yours, as well as anyone else who want to come on our show and share information to kidney warriors around the world who deal with this disease on a daily basis. That's what we're about, promoting good health, good education, great shows, entertainment at the same time, but learning so you could deal with the new normal. Thank you guys for tuning in. God bless you. Again, reach out to us if you want to be a part of the show. Come on, so we could put your platform out there wherever you're at, so we can just get this word out there and let people know that kidney disease matters. Just like these other matters, like Black Lives Matters and cancer matters and prostate and all these other slogans. Kidney disease matters. It does matter. And we see it now more than ever. More than ever now. Because now only essential items are open. And what if you live in a rural area? What if you live over in Cameroon, Africa? What if you lived in a place that wasn't like the United States? It didn't have too many stores to go to. What do you do if you're a kidney warrior? So that's what we try to address everyone. We try to give information so it can apply to everyone. Whether you've been doing this for 15, 20, 30 years, we hope you can get something out of our broadcast. So we have to stick together as a community. We do. I know there's different groups out there, Facebook kidney disease groups, some private, some anonymous, some open, some closed. But guess what? Regardless of the type of group it is, open, restricted, closed, private, can't find it. The one thing that all these groups and everybody who are in these groups have in common, and you know what that is kidney disease. That's the common denominator. Now, if kidney disease is the common denominator with why wouldn't you want to broadcast in there that's going to educate everyone that's dealing with the same condition? Just think about that. This broadcast doesn't get into every group. You got people trying to share it and the people declining it. Why? This isn't about you. This is about educating people who deal with this disease. Yes, Miss Betty, we are all in this together. We are all in this together, people who are dealing with kidney disease. So if you can find it in your heart, whatever group you're in, if you're in a 20,000 member group or a 500 member group, share the broadcast. And if they decline it, then you know where their heart is at and where their intentions at. Because even though it could be a group to talk about issues, concerns, I hate dialysis, home dialysis, whatever, right? If you're in dialysis or deal with this, you still deal with fluid control issues or have to deal with that 32 ounce a day and the sodium. And your kidneys don't